A Step into the Past Volume 20 Chapter 11. Book 20 Chapter 11 Devising Strategies. A month after Lord Chongping and Li Si's visit to the farm, Xiang Xiaolong's feeling of misfortune was proven correct. Li Mu's elite troops suddenly arrived and greatly defeated the Qin army outside Tunliu. Wang Ling and Huan Qi retreated in haste about 100 miles northwest of Tunliu, to Changzi city situated at the end of Lushui, having lost close to 30,000 men. Wang Ling was filled with worry and anger, and on top of that was overly exhausted. 2 days after they arrived at Changzi city, he died of illness. Of the 4 great generals who were around when the Black Dragon was born, only Wang Jian is left. Meng Ao, Wang Qi, and Wang Ling all passed away within 2 years, and this is an extremely heavy blow to the Qins. Now, the only famous generals left in Qin are Xiang Xiaolong and Wang Jian. The rest, like Huan Qi, Meng Wu, Meng Tian, Yang Rui, Guan Zongzi etc., have not reached the stage where they can hold the fort on their own. For now, Qin's grand plan of invading towards the east has temporarily come to a standstill. If not for Xiang Xiaolong, who had defeated the coalition army and suppressed the uprising led by Chang Qiao and Du Bai, maybe the Qin royalty would have to learn from the chess and move away to avoid further trouble. Xiang Xiaolong and Teng Yi were summoned back to Xianyang. As they do not want their wives and children to take the arduous journey back, they advised them to stay behind at the farm. Ji Yanran and the rest are already used to them leaving their homes to go on military expeditions, but as their opponent this time is the trickiest and most famous general of this era, Li Mu, the ladies had to keep nagging and warning them before they allowed them to leave for Xianyang. As usual, Xiang Xiaolong went straight to the palace to see Xiao Pan, while Teng Yi went to see their 5th brother Jing Jun, whom they have not met for a long time. Xiao Pan met him alone in the pace, and his expression was somber. When he saw him, he said, "This time, Wang Ling's death is caused by Lu Bue." Xiang Xiaolong was taken aback. "Really?" Xiao Pan placed his hands on the table. The frosty glance that flashed past his eyes was enough to make even Xiang Xiaolong's heart run cold. This future Emperor Qin gave a cold snort. "I've already considered the possibility of the Zhaos helping in the besiege of Tunliu long ago, and have given orders to Guan Zongzi to attack the Zhaos and keep Li Mu engaged." However, Lu Bue made unreasonable objections, and with the support of Lao Ai, there were numerous delays which eventually resulted in the defeat of Tunliu. "I will certainly settle this score clearly with them in future." Xiang Xiaolong furrowed his brows. "Are they in a position to interfere in these matters?" Xiao Pan answered angrily, "Of course not. I can only hate myself for once promising the Dowager that if for any redeployment of troops amounting to more than 100,000 men, I will need her seal of approval. According to Mai Jiao, Lao Ai deliberately ordered his men to delay the documents that I sent to the Dowager, so that it only reached her hands 10 days later. These documents were delayed for another 2 weeks on the way back. By that time, things have already happened. Whatever military advantage we may have is already affected. After that, I tried to pursue this matter, but the Dowager kept protecting Lao Ai. Great General Wang has died a meaningless death." Xiang Xiaolong said with a wry smile, "So the Dowager listened to my advice and moved to Yongdu, but ended up with such side effects." Xiao Pan shook his head. "This is not your fault. The problem lies with Lu Bue and Lao Ai. As long as these two are still around, we can forget about unifying the world. Ever since time memorial, one will have to govern internal affairs well before expanding outwards. Now that our internal strife are abound, how can we take over the 6 states and accomplish the grandest achievement of all times?" He paused and added, "Now our opponent is Lu Mu, and it seems that we are defeated at every battle. As long as this person is not removed, we can forget about attacking Handan." Xiang Xiaolong asked, "Is the power in Zhao now still in the hands of the Dowager Han Jing?" Xiao Pan replied, "The current king of Zhao is even worse than King Xiao Cheng. He's constantly engaged in wine and women, and he's overly suspicious and prone to jealousy as well. Humph, no one knows him better than me. One day he will die in the hands of a woman, and this day is not far away." No matter how smart and formidable Han Jing is, she is still a woman and only knows how to pine over Guo Kai and let this scumbag take over the court proceedings and interfere in military matters. If not for that, Li Mu may very well have fought his way here long ago. Xiang Xiaolong was surprised. Weren't there rumors that Pang Nuan is Han Jing's gigolo? Xiao Pan is especially hateful of the Zhaos and said with disdain, Han Jing is a who breaks all the rules of the palace, so it's nothing strange if she has found a few more men. He sighed and added, I'm really unwilling to let teacher lead an army to Tunlia, but there's really no one else more suitable. And this is what Lu Bue and Lao Ai really hope for. Xiang Xiaolong was puzzled. Your Highness, why do you say that? It seems that Xiao Pan dared not face him. He walked towards the window and looked at the snowy imperial garden outside and said slowly with his back to him, because I understand the relationship between teacher and Li Mu. So unless teacher promise me that you will not harbor any personal feelings, otherwise I will not allow teacher to lead the army no matter what happens. Because Li Mu is not the likes of Pang Nuan or Han Chuang, if teacher feels even a tiny inkling of sympathy, you will certainly be defeated. Xiang Xiaolong was so taken aback that he was at a loss for words. Just like how well he understands Xiao Pan is totally familiar with his thoughts as well. The person that he really does not want to meet on the battlefield is Li Mu, and this mindset of his is enough to make it difficult for him to extend his full prowess. But the fact is laid out right in front of him, he will have to commit to a battle of life and death with Li Mu. Otherwise not only will Huan Qi perish, even Wang Bai and Yang Duanhe may end up in Li Mu's hands together with the Eastern Commandery. Will he be able to defeat Li Mu? This is something that even Wang Jian has no confidence in. Xiao Pan's breathing became heavier. Xiang Xiaolong gritted his teeth and answered firmly, Fine. I, Xiang Xiaolong, will meet Li Mu and see who's best on the battlefield. No matter who survives or dies, just take it as an outcome befitting a warrior. Xiao Pan spun around and exclaimed happily, These words that teacher has uttered are enough to set my mind at ease. Xiang Xiaolong asked, How many troops can your highness offer me? Xiao Pan's mood improved as he thought over it. No matter what, teacher will have to wait until spring before you can leave. Lu Bue has recently been deliberately mobilizing large numbers of soldiers to build the Zhenqiu Canal, so there's not a lot of men left available. Luckily teacher only needs elite warriors. Xiang Xiaolong's brows furrowed on hearing this. Li Mu's Zhao soldiers are the most famous in the east and he has 20,000 cavalry under him. Even the Xiongnu's, who are adept in archery and horse riding, have to admit defeat. His own Wu family elite warriors are now down to only 2,000 men, and in such a situation, it's not an easy task to win Li Mu. Xiao Pan made some calculations and said with certainty, I can give teacher 20,000 foot soldiers. They are all able-bodied soldiers and teacher can take your pick on who to appoint as the deputy general. On top of Huan Qi troops at Changzhou City, the total force will amount to 120,000, and it should be enough to face off Li Mu's estimated force of 100,000 men. The both of them discussed a little further before Xiao Pan summoned Lord Chongping, and after arrangements were made, Xiang Xiaolong left together with Lord Chongping. Xiang Xiaolong can't help but ask, is the building of the Zhenqiu Canal really hindering us that much? Lord Chongping sighed. The Zhenqiu Canal is indeed using up a lot of our men and resources, but the main problem is that Lu Bue is trying to resist the central government using the local forces, using another method to gain control of our Great Qin's military affairs. Especially now that he and Lao Ai are making use of each other, such that on many instances the Dowager had to stand on their side. There's really nothing His Highness can do, like the death of Wang Ling is really uncalled for. Xiang Xiaolong thought of Wang He and Wang Ling, and all the old hatred and new enmity welled up in him. In another 2 years, he will be able to exact revenge with his own hands. Lord Chongping walked out with him and said quietly, Mao Chiao sent news that under Lu Bue's covert support, Lao Ai is now secretly organizing a gang of supporters, even the Dowager is kept in the dark. Xiang Xiaolong was taken aback. What kind of supporters? Lord Chongping replied, "It's an extremely secret organization and those who join all have to make a deadly vow that they will remain loyal only to Lao Ai. After that Lao Ai will try to place them in various military positions so that when the time comes for a rebellion in future, they will be able to help him." He paused and continued, "According to His Highness's prediction, Lao Ai and Lu Bue's scheme will take place during his coronation ceremony because according to the rites, His Highness must travel to the Grand Temple in Yangdu for the coronation. Lao Ai will be able to make arrangements for the ceremony in his capacity as Minister of Rites, and because Yangdu are full of their men, it'll be a lot easier for them to rebel there than in Xianyang. But we've already guessed that this is their plan, so naturally we will not let them succeed." Xiang Xiaolong said with a wry smile, "They have already started on their scheme. First it's Wang He, then it's Wang Ling. If not for the fact that Huan Qi is an outstanding general, he may have met with mishap as well. Lu Bue is a master at scheming after all. He can get rid of us one by one without even bloodying his own sword, and now it's finally my turn." Lord Chongping was taken aback. "Xiaolong, don't say such inauspicious words. Now, besides Xiaolong and Wang Jian, there's no one else in Great Qin who can be a match against Li Mu. Xiaolong, you must gather your faith and accomplish another great deed for His Highness." Xiang Xiaolong thought of Li Mu and said honestly, "I'll try my best." Lord Chongping suggested, "Why don't we go and look for Li Si to discuss this?" Xiang Xiaolong shook his head and took his leave to go to the cavalry official department. After Teng Yi and Jing Jun heard his updates, Teng Yi said, "His Highness is right, there is no place for personal feelings on the battlefield. Because it's not a problem involving only two people, but it involves the lives of thousands of soldiers and their wives and children, as well as the fate and pride of a country." Xiang Xiaolong was startled. "I really didn't spare that much thought to it." Teng Yi was silent for a moment before saying in all seriousness, "I do have a suggestion, which is to immediately select a troop of elite soldiers and gather them at the farm to give them intense training like what we did with our elite warriors. Our family warriors like Jing Shan, Wu Yan etc. will be the military leaders, and each leader will have 5,000 men under him. In that way, we can mobilize them as easily as moving our arms, and we will be able to strike most effectively in battle." Xiang Xiaolong was energized as he remembered the training methods for the elite troops in the 21st century and happily agreed. For the next 10 days, Xiang Xiaolong and Teng Yi stayed in the cavalry official department in the capital to personally select 45,000 men from the reinforcement troops, cavalry, city guards and imperial guards. They were split into 9 sections with Jing Shan and the 18 warriors as the officers and deputy officers, and 2 sections will form an army. Jing Jun, Wu Guo, and Zhao De will be the commanders of the 3 armies, while he will personally lead the remaining 2,000 Wu family elite warriors as the Grand Commander with Teng Yi as his deputy. Naturally Zhou Yang will become the leader of the scouting team. Most of the people were with Xiang Xiaolong in his 2 previous battles, and once they heard that he is leading the army, their morale were greatly boosted and they were willing to lay down their lives for this mission. Lu Bue and Lao Ai were surprisingly cooperative because naturally they were hoping that he would go earlier and die faster so he can never return to Xianyang again. Therefore Xiang Xiaolong sought Xiao Pan's permission to move the entire army to the farm, and making use of the various facilities, trained the soldiers day and night, hoping to make use of these 3 bitter winter months before spring arrives to cultivate another massive army of elite soldiers. On this day, because of the heavy snow, the soldiers were all staying in the farm. Xiang Xiaolong was having dinner with his wives and son when learned Lady Ji commented, "Ultimately, warfare is about the art of trickery. Therefore the best leader will first strategize to hinder the enemy's plans, next will be the battle on the field, and finally to besiege a walled city. So we must pretend to be unable to attack even if we can, and make the enemy believe that we are far away when we are not." Sun Tzu even openly said that nothing is too deceitful in war. Now Yan Ran has seen how dear husband is training the troops, and indeed your methods are refreshing and startling. Especially the way you hide how the battle is fought, nothing on earth can indeed compare to it. But I wonder if dear husband have thought of a strategy to defeat the enemy. From Sun Tzu's Art of War. Qinxing added gently and affectionately, Yan Ran's questions are not pointless. Pu Hu's influence is very strong at the Eastern Commandery and he has made many repairs and modifications to Tunlia before. The city walls are high and the rivers wide. Now he won't be afraid of us attacking him because he'll be able to wait it out and counter out active attacks with passiveness. Now even Wang Ling and Huan Qi, who are well versed in the art of war and had the command of Great Qin's elite soldiers, ended up being defeated and had to retreat, so it goes to show that Pu Hu is not someone like Zhao Guo and there won't be a loss like that of Chongping. On top of that, Li Mu is eyeing us from the sideline. Xiaolong, you must not just use brute force. On hearing this, Xiang Xiaolong can feel himself sweating. The battle strategy this time will have to attack a strong and walled city and at the same time deal with Li Mu's sudden attacks. It's wishful thinking if one thinks that one can win using the normal rules of engagement. The biggest problem now is that Huan Qi is now leading a newly defeated army and he himself does not have enough troops, and it's impossible to split up and handle two different battles at the same time. Besides, Pu Hu has always been unfathomable and Li Mu is an extremely experienced talent in mobilizing troops. The outcome of this battle can almost be known without even fighting it. Wu Tingfang suggested a plan. Can we send someone to infiltrate inside the city of Tunlia first? Ji Yanran replied, how would the enemy not be on alert against such a trick? Besides, Tunlia belonged to the Zhaos and it'll be even more difficult for the Qins to infiltrate. Xiang Xiaolong searched his brains for memories of examples besieging cities from the last 1,000 years since ancient time to now. He almost fried his brains thinking and couldn't think of any brilliant plan at that moment, so he gave up. After dinner, Xiang Xiaolong lied down on the mat with his head resting on Wu Tingfang's soft thighs and started thinking again. Ji Yanran and the rest dare not disturb his train of thought and accompanied him quietly by the side. The Tian sisters accompanied Xiang Bao back to bed. The fireplaces in the four corners were all burning, so they do not feel the cold frost outside at all. Xiang Xiaolong thought of the Mahist addendum, which stated these words: the way to attack a city is to surround it on four sides but to leave a corner open to indicate an escape route to lure the enemy into breaking out. But obviously this is not suited to be used at Tunliu city. Because with Li Mu at the side, he is in no way able to block the entire city. Basically, it takes only 4 steps to attack a city, namely to cross the river, attack the city gates and walls, climb over the walls, and lastly the battle in the streets and alleys. But as their enemy has the protection of a moat and they are at a higher location, which is advantageous to them, and on top of that, they can easily switch from a defensive position to an offensive one at any time and suddenly launch an attack. So if they follow the normal rules of engagement, their losses will be momentous. If he is Li Mu, he will make use of the time when the Qin army is exhausted to lead an attack. By then, if his army is not wiped out, he'll have to thank heavens for it. So how can he change this situation where they can only act in response? Too bad Pu Hu does not like wooden horse, otherwise he can reenact what happened in the West during the Trojan War. Suddenly he had an idea and he sat up in joy and shouted, I've got it. The map was spread open on the mat. Teng Yi, Jing Jun, and the rest were all concentrating on it, but they still have no idea what tricks Xiang Xiaolong have up his sleeve. Xiang Xiaolong pointed at a big city inside the Zhao border named Zhongmu and said, this city is an important place in the Zhao's northern border and the Zhao capital is 120 miles north of here while Tunliu is 130 miles northwest of here. Therefore the distance to any of these two places from Zhongmu is roughly the same. But to the east of Zhongmu there is an official road leading to Handan and it'll only take 3 days on a swift horse to reach Handan. If we can take down this city, what do you think will be the reaction of the Zhao king? Teng Yi banged the table in admiration. Of course he'll be terrified that we'll attack his capital. We're all well aware of Guo Kai's standard. Qinxing furrowed her brows. Zhongmu is situated along the borders of Zhao and Wei and have always been tightly guarded. How can it be so easily taken down by you? Besides, at the north of Handan there's another long wall spanning about 100 miles protecting the capital. The Zhao army has been stationed there for a long time, and if your 40,000 odd men were to infiltrate them, it'll really be very dangerous. Ji Yanran said with a smile, Lord Husband will definitely have another brilliant plan. Sister Qing, please listen on carefully. Xiang Xiaolong smiled at Qin Qing and replied, please listen to your husband's explanation. Qin Qing saw that he was addressing himself as her husband was felt both embarrassed and happy at the same time, and she stared at him in reproach. Xiang Xiaolong said, this time we're going all out regardless of the consequences. Now Guanzongzi is deploying troops to the city of Suanxi in Han, and it's only 80 miles away from Tunliu and about 100 odd miles to Zhongmu. We might as well get a secret edict from His Highness to go to Suanxi and take away Guanzongzi's military command, taking over his 130,000 men for our own use. That way our forces will be boosted, and the best thing is the Zhaos will still think that we will be coming up from the south to Changzi city to meet up with Huanqi before going on to invade Tunliu. Therefore they will surely concentrate their forces at Shangdang to better deal with us. Jing Jun said viciously, best is we can get rid of Guanzongzi at the same time. Qin Qing commented, won't that be the same as forcing Lu Bue to rebel immediately? Don't forget Guanzongzi is his beloved son-in-law. Xiang Xiaolong said, once we reach Suanxi, we will split our forces in two, one obvious and one secret to move in, so that the Zhaos will think that we are going to Changzi city, but in fact we will be crossing the river towards Zhongmu. We'll catch them unawares, and our Wu family's elite warriors will climb over the city walls in the middle of the night. As long as we can seize control of one of the city gates, we'll be able to take over Zhongmu. Teng Yi nodded his head, best is if we can smuggle someone into Handan first and create some rumors to make the people panic. Then the Zhaos will have to summon Li Mu back to protect the capital, and Tunliu won't be that impossible to obtain. Ji Yanran exclaimed excitedly, at the same time we have to ask Xiao Bai and Duan He to lead their armies and make a major counter-attack to engage Pang Nuan and Sima Shang's two armies. By then Li Mu's summons to leave Tunliu will become a surety. Xiang Xiaolong said, the most difficult part of this matter is how can we move the troops so far, crossing the river from Suanxi towards Zhongmu without letting our enemy find out. Otherwise it'll just end up as another long-drawn siege attack. Ji Yanran studied the map and replied, you can pretend to be going towards Changzi city first and split up your troops once you reach the southern shore of river Lu. From here to Zhongmu, it's all wilderness. As long as the troops move rapidly, even if someone sees them, there won't be enough time for them to inform the city guards of Zhongmu, so the number of men cannot be too big. Also, the light cavalry must go first with their light packs, followed by the foot soldiers. Zhou Yang's Eagle King can be put to the greatest use in such situations. At this point in time, everyone was filled with confidence, almost wishing that they can attack Zhongmu immediately. Teng Yi said, if we can send 50,000 men to Changzi city to meet up with Huanqi, our army size will reach almost 120,000, but to take down Tunliu, it's not something that can be accomplished within 1 or 2 months. I'm worried that by that time the Zhaos would have figured out our actual force and send troops to attack. With enemies in front and behind us, our situation is still bleary. Xiang Xiaolong said, Pu Hu is still a merchant at heart, he's just relying on the Zhaos. He only had the guts to rebel because being caught will mean his entire clan getting exterminated. The soldiers in the city are all a motley crew gathered hurriedly, so as long as we successfully spread rumors to make them panic and deliberately give them an escape route, I guarantee that Tunliu will fall without a battle and no one will put up a real fight. Zhao Ji said, their first fear is of course that the Zhaos will abandon them, but what can we use to scare them after that? Xiang Xiaolong smiled, it's simple, make use of the strategy of villages surrounding a city. Take over all the villages nearby, move the villagers away and make sure Tunliu lose their supply of food and grains. Set up camp outside the city of Tunliu and build various equipments for besieging a city. Make it look as if we're planning a long-haul siege, and I guarantee that in less than 2 weeks, Pu Hu will try to think of a way to slip away. Jing Jun said with a smirk, if he doesn't slip away, we'll just launch a dam attack. Wu Ting Fang chided, Xiao Jun, can you mind your words? Qingqing saw that everyone's gaze was on her, so she shrugged her dainty shoulders and said, "I've gotten used to it long ago." Everyone smiled. Xiang Xiaolong continued, "We'll have to think about the whole plan in more detail and then send someone to inform Xiao Qi, Xiao Bai and Duan He immediately. This matter must be kept absolutely secret, otherwise it won't work if word gets out." By now, although it's very late into the night, how were Xiang Xiaolong and his two brothers able to sleep? After the ladies went to bed, they continued their discussion all the way until dawn before they went on their separate ways to carry out their tasks.